So, employee well-being is commonly linked to all aspects of work life, but it holds much greater significance when it comes to employee performance and how they view their work environment. That being said, let's say good morning to Michelle Austin, who is a financial specialist and leadership professional. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to Radio 2000.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
This is something I feel like it's quite important. I think it's as important as doing like a mental health check when it comes to the workplace. How can companies foster a healthy work environment to avoid this quote unquote burnout?
100%. So there are quite a few ways to do it, and what it comes down to is creating a culture in your organization which is built on mutual trust. Mm-hmm. So the first key way and the most impactful thing that you can do as an employer is to support your employees. Pay attention to their behavior and recognize burnout before it actually happens.
Yeah.
Another way to do it is by promoting a work environment where employees can build supportive relationships with their coworkers. They need to build a workplace culture where it encourages your employees to communicate and to connect and be open with one another, and even with you as the employer. You as the employer also should encourage relaxation and participation in other activities after hours besides work. So you need to avoid promoting working outside normal working hours. And something which I've learned as an experience, through experience as a leader, is to actually lead by example. So I avoid working after hours as much as possible unless it really is a busy period. So for me, for example, is a financial year end.
Yeah.
You could also allow and even push your employees to take time off work. I suggest more than a week at a time, so that they can actually get some proper downtime and rest. Then there's also things like motivating your employees constantly, showing them appreciation. A simple thank you or a compliment even goes a long way.
Yeah.
And then you should also reward good work and recognize accomplishment, and maybe even consider implementing a recognition program. You could actually get quite creative here. So what we've done recently is we've given birthday leave. So if our staff member has a birthday, they can take a half day of leave in the month of their birthday.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then, also if they complete a project on time and on budget, to give them an additional day leave, or perhaps a performance bonus, or even promoting peer recognition.
But even in that regard, Michelle, even if it's if the person would, as opposed to leave, perhaps want extra compensation, it's the fact that you have that open communication with your employees and to figure out exactly what it is they want and what they're interested in, and to give them that in turn.
100%. So something you could do is to actually, if they achieve something or if they complete a project on time or within deadline or on budget, you could actually reward them or gift them with something that supports their well-being. So, for example, if somebody enjoys playing golf, you could gift them a round of golf at a course that they've been wanting to play at.
Facts. I like that idea very, very much. In fact, not so long ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I saw on social media somebody who works at a company that, it's a food brand. So, and anyway, so she had done well, and so they awarded her the opportunity for like a 30-second dash. I think it was 30 or 60-second dash.
Oh, 100%, yes.
Point is, girl ran out of there with all her Christmas meat in like under a minute, and she was like, "This is awesome! Hello, December." But I mean, it just feeds into that, like, you have this great opportunity. So when you come back to work the next day, you're like all beaming and cheering, and you want to do better because you want 100%. To maybe achieve more, and so that you can gain more at the end of the day. But I really do love the fact of compensating employees. I mean, yeah, you already get paid, but it's feeding I don't want to say ego, but I want to say ego. You know what I mean? Just
Yes.
give you a little pep in your step. But I wanted to ask you, Michelle, how can companies go ahead and support employees' mental health? I think that's the important thing we need to also consider.
Yes, so I believe that there is still a stigma associated with mental health, and I think we need to normalize the conversations around it.
Yeah.
So here again, I actually think it's great to lead by example. So leaders should consider being vulnerable and be willing to discuss their own mental health concerns and experiences with their teams. That encourages the employees to feel safe, and maybe that will make them more willing to share their own experiences.
Gotcha.
You could also consider establishing some sort of employee assistance program, so it's an EAP, and then you need to reinforce it regularly so that the employees are aware that it is there and that they are able to use it. So an EAP is basically a form of employee benefits, and it's a program that is designed to help employees cope with various challenges that they're going through. So if it's personal, professional, health-related, anything like that. You could also consider providing supervisors and managers with mental health training, and you could cover topics such as recognizing and responding to warning signs, creating that work environment that encourages that open and honest communication, and then understanding how to identify and prevent potential workplace-related emotional triggers. Something else that I think is quite important as well is making sure that mental health care is easily accessible to employees. So making sure that you have medical aid that's got coverage for mental health issues, and allowing paid time off so that your employees can attend doctor's appointments and therapy if they need to. You could even provide life coaching for your employees, or even potentially partner with a mental health provider in your area to offer free counseling to your employees.
Gotcha. Some really good advice, Michelle. Thank you very much. Lastly, I wanted to ask you, which mental health initiative employers can implement to improve the well-being of these employers?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. So again, I'm just going to throw a couple of examples out there. So again, it's just that open environment to discuss mental health issues, and then providing mental health training to managers, potentially even offering mindfulness training, so exposing employees to that. So I know in the environment that I work in, it's not really something that's talked about. And then potentially even creating Eat Well or Get Active initiatives or challenges.
Gotcha. Look, Michelle, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us, to give us a little bit of information, and at least for us to start the conversation. I think that's very important. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate it, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
That's Michelle Austin, financial specialist and leadership professional, talking about things you can put into place to kind of make sure that you have a healthy working environment that gets the best out of your employees. And yeah, these are talking points, but you can flip things around.